A St. Louis couple caught on video pointing guns at Black Lives Matter protesters are now charged with a crime. Mark and Patricia McCloskey were each charged with felony unlawful use of a weapon.
Today, the White House again showed its support for the St. Louis couple now charged with felony unlawful use of a weapon for brandishing guns as a crowd of protesters gathered outside their home on a private street. Shortly after the death of George Floyd sparked nationwide riots and looting.
It is absolutely absurd what is happening to the McCloskeys. He noted that this is an extreme abuse of power by the prosecutor, and noteworthy that the prosecutor, there have been many cases brought to her attention of violent rioters that she's failed to charge, but instead she's charging the individuals who are defending themselves from violent protesters.
The crowd wasn't peaceful. They barged onto private property, destroyed a fence, and threatened to kill strangers, the McCloskeys. The McCloskeys did nothing wrong. They did what they had to do and what you would have to do in similar circumstances. But the prosecutor wasn't kidding. Self-defense is no longer allowed in places controlled by people like her.
Gardner says she brought charges after a thorough investigation by police, but the McCloskeys say no crime was committed. Mark McCloskey tells Fox News he was advised to film protesters with his cell phone instead of taking out his guns, but he asks how that would help if hundreds of people broke into his home.
Missouri's governor says he's prepared to pardon Mark and Patricia McCloskey if prosecutors bring criminal charges in the case.
They had every right to protect their property, their home, just like any of us would. And if you had a mob coming towards us, whether they tore down a gate or not, when they come on your property, they don't have a right to do that in an aggressive manner. And people have a right to protect themselves, their families, and their property. That's the Castle Doctrine in the state of Missouri.
These cases are part of a disturbing pattern in this country of white people, including some who clearly love their guns as much as they love their privilege, threatening the lives of black people for doing the most basic everyday activities.
Grotesque. These people are monsters.
We did nothing wrong. We're not going to back down. We're not going to do what everybody's expected to do these days, and that's bow to social and media pressure and apologize for doing something that was completely proper to do and something we'd do again now if we had to.
And it's just shocking now that you get subjected to something like this and looking at felony, conviction, and it was just a shock.
The St. Louis media has been slandering and maligning us. They went so far as to print a copy of a birthday card my dad gave me in 1976 in the Post-Dispatch. I mean, there is no limit to what they'll do to try to make me look bad.